On behalf of the Greater Queen Anne Chamber of Commerce, it is truly an honor to welcome your new Church of Scientology to Seattle. I have long enjoyed a professional association with your church, but I have also a unique personal connection, one that is very close to my heart. For you see, your founder, L. Ron Hubbard, attended our very own Queen Anne High School, the same high school from which I graduated. I am also proud to say that the Chamber and the Church have co-sponsored many projects for the benefit of the greater community. And in every case, you never just stand by and think about improvements. You do them. You do the city cleanups, you tackle graffiti, and support the helpline on behalf of children and families in need of assistance. I could cite many further examples, but instead, let me just say this. We at the Chamber know we can always turn to the Church of Scientology, and you will never let us down. So thank you.
In my capacity as a FEMA Voluntary Agency Liaison, I have had the opportunity to observe firsthand the work that your volunteer ministers have accomplished through their disaster relief efforts. You, along with other national and local volunteer disaster response teams, were there when disaster struck in Western Washington. You cleared debris, reinstalled fences, salvaging possessions, all so people could get their lives back on track. It was not, nor is it ever, a material thing, but a very human thing. You can see the light turn back on in people's eyes. And that is what defines for me the gift of volunteering, a gift you bring. For all these reasons and more, I am so pleased that one of your volunteer ministers now serves as the Executive Director for voluntary organizations active in disaster for all of Washington State. And today, whenever people ask me about your church volunteer ministers' work, I tell them to look for themselves through disaster response archives. You can't help but notice amongst the groups of volunteer responders a sea of yellow shirts. Those are your volunteer ministers. I welcome your new church. I know you will be there continuing your efforts as partners in disaster relief within the Pacific Northwest and throughout the world. Thank you very much.
My connection with the Church of Scientology goes back long before I was on the state Supreme Court, back almost 35 years ago when I received a call from the director of the Citizens Commission for Human Rights telling me that CCHR had provided refuge to a woman who had fled from state-sponsored attempts to involuntarily imprison her in a mental hospital. She needed a lawyer. CCHR encouraged me to come aboard, promised me help and support, and armed me with evidence that psychiatrists could no more accurately predict future acts of violence than they could by flipping a coin. I fought that case all the way to the state Supreme Court. And as a result, due to their vigorous help, we won a victory. The state Supreme Court invalidated part of the Involuntary Commitment Act as unconstitutional. And in so doing, it was a victory for all the people of the state of Washington. The Church of Scientology is truly a leader when it comes to fighting for the civil rights of those subject to abuse by the so-called mental health laws and those that enforce them. And I respect your struggle to abolish coercive practices in the field of mental health and to restore human dignity and freedom to all people.
As a state elected official, it has always been my purpose to represent the values and the views of the citizens. I believe there are values we all look for in one another, like fairness and justice and tolerance, and our right to each of those as individuals. And what we're really talking about when we say those words is human rights. I have been a long-time fighter for workers' rights, for women's rights, for education rights. And that's where the Church of Scientology comes into place. As your founder expressed it, human rights must be made a fact, not an idealistic dream. Well, I want you to know that I am on board to do just that by making human rights a fact. There is much to be done, and together we will push this through. And now, with that, it is my great honor to present this official message from the Governor of the State of Washington, Christine Gregoire, and it reads, I recently learned that the Church of Scientology of Washington State is celebrating the grand opening of its new regional headquarters located at the foot of Queen Anne Hill. Congratulations on this important milestone. Signed, Christine O. Gregoire, Governor of the State of Washington.